Okay, so next up, I believe we have a presentation from Collective Mining. Please help me welcome Paul Begin, Chief Financial Officer of Collective Mining. Nice to meet you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Begin in Quebec, and I'm the CFO and one of the founders of Collective Mining. For those who don't know us, we're the ex-Continental Gold team, where we discovered 11 million ounces at our asset called Buritica in Colombia. We financed, built, and commissioned a mine and sold it to Zijin Mining in March of 2020 for $2 billion, roughly $2 billion in enterprise value. That was 1 week before North American COVID lockdowns happened, so we're very fortunate on timing, but we got bored very quickly, and we reconvened as Collective Mining and got back to work pretty quickly after that. A little bit about our capital structure before we begin. We had a tight capital structure on a fully diluted basis. We have 89.1 million shares outstanding. We're well cashed up. We have 78 million as of March 31st, US dollars in the bank. And as you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, management owns a significant portion of this company, just over 22%, so we are well aligned with shareholders. Agnico Eagle is our strategic investor that owns 14.99%, and we have 6 analyst coverage that are listed on the right-hand side. We are led by Ari Sussman. Some of you may know Ari. Ari was the CEO of Continental Gold for a decade. He's now our executive chairman, and in the interest of time, I will skip the rest of the management and board. A little bit about Colombia. Colombia is a bit of a misunderstood jurisdiction. I personally have been operating in Colombia for 15 years. It's a wonderful place to do business. It has a well-established mining industry. We've listed a select few of the operating mines on the right-hand side of this slide. Most of them are base metal, but you'll see Glencore, South 32, Drummond have all been in Colombia and operating for quite some time. And of course, our Buritica asset that's now owned by Zijin Continental. One of the most compelling aspects about Colombia is its permitting process. In the United States, it takes whatever, call it 15 years to permit a mine. In Canada, it's probably closer to 7. In Colombia, by law at the national level, it takes 10 months to permit a mine. We permitted our Buritica asset in 9 months. That is a very compelling part of the overall picture in Colombia. And despite a challenging government whose time is limited, who will be voted out in the near term, within the next 12 months, they have issued 8 mining licenses in the country since September of 2022, 4 open pit and 4 underground. Okay, its political system is set up identical to the United States, meaning there's checks and balances. There's a House, there's a Senate, and then there's a presidential powers. So it works. The system works. You can do business in Colombia, and if we have any affiliation to the energy transition and we got to figure out where this metal is going to come from, we need to look at countries like Colombia that has a realistic permitting timeline. We operate in the Caldas department. You'll see in the map on the bottom left-hand corner, it's in the central part of the country. I'll say 2 things about it. It's the safest place in Colombia to operate from a security perspective, and it has a long history of mining. It's got centuries, 500 plus years of mining in the area, and it's in the heart of the coffee growing area where the most reputable beans, the Colombian coffee beans, are grown. It's a wonderful place. We have 2 projects listed on the slide in the map in the right-hand side. One called Guayabales, the other one's called San Antonio. We're only going to talk about Guayabales today because it's our most advanced project and we have limited time. We have options to earn 100% interest in both projects, no underlying NSR or royalty attached to them. Our Guayabales project, as you can see, is located next to Aris Mining's multi-million ounce famous Marmato mine. That's the mine that's been operating for over 500 continuous years. Aris Mining, for some of you likely know, and those who don't know, is a TSX and New York Stock Exchange listed company. They're in development of what they call Marmato Deeps, which we'll get into further in a moment. Okay? The district was never consolidated despite a 500-plus year history until we got there. Okay? And then one of the things that's lost in today's world, I mean, there's been some wonderful discoveries, both precious metals and base metals, is infrastructure. Okay? You'll see in our slide and the map on the right, the little line, the squiggly line that's going north-south, that's the Pan American Highway. And along the Pan American Highway is high voltage power. And within 30 minutes of our project is a town of about 40,000 people. And within 2-hour drive of our project is around a couple of million people. So this is infrastructure rich. It doesn't get any better than this from an infrastructure perspective. We're not building camps. We're not building 200-kilometer roads. We're going to build a mine here. People are going to go home to their family at night, sleep there, and come to work the next morning. All that translates into lower CapEx, lower operating costs. Let's get into Guayabales. So you're looking at a plan view of Guayabales. The 4.5-kilometer line is generally the boundary between our property and RS Mining's Marmato property. All of the red little symbols that you see on this map are permitted mines. Within 3 kilometers of us, there's 10 permitted mines. We are in mining country. All of these circles that you see in the top part of that graph are targets that we generated by grassroots exploration. That is one of our core competencies. That's what made us successful at Continental Gold, and that's what's made us successful at Collective. There's no shortcuts. This is ridge and spur, good old-fashioned boots on the ground exploration, and we've generated, every circle there is generated is a target. We either A, have made a discovery, which you can see there's a red line in the middle of it, or B, they're going to be drilled in the second half of 2025. Our most significant discovery is called Apollo. It's a wonderful discovery. It's big. It's got grade. It comes right to surface. It's got straightforward metallurgy. Let's take a closer look at it. So the old saying is the best place to find a mine is next to a mine certainly holds true in this situation. What you have here is an image with this Marmato, RS Mining Marmato Deeps on the right-hand side and our Apollo deposit on the left-hand side. They're separated no more than less than 2 kilometers as the crow flies. Let's take a look at Apollo, and then we'll talk about similarities between Marmato Deeps and Apollos. So the first thing I'll point out is that we're higher up on the mountainside, so we have more of the system preserved. Okay, so you need to think about Apollo as 2 different deposits. There's the upper Apollo, and then there's what we call the ramp zone. The upper Apollo is what you see in blue, okay? Comes right to surface, and it goes down to about 1 kilometer in depth, okay? It is a brecciated porphyry that's been overprinted by multiple styles of porphyry-related veins, okay? So the brecciation basically means it's busted up the rock, it's created a bunch of porosity in the rock that acts as a trap to trap metal, and that's why you get in these high grades. In the upper Apollo, we get 100, 200, 300 meter intercepts at really sweet grades, call it 3 grams per ton, sometimes higher. And then at around 1 kilometer down, the geochem signature changes into what we call the ramp zone. Okay, ramp zone is a brand new discovery for us. We only have less than 10 holes into it. But all of a sudden, the geochem changes, and you're seeing higher temperature metals like bismuth and tellurium, and the base metals have been sucked out of it. So what we believe it is it's a reduced intrusion-related system. We're getting shorter intervals, call it 50 meters, but you could see on the slide where you're getting significant grades, 50 meters at 8 grams per ton gold equivalent and so forth. This is a significant discovery. It's wide open at depth. We've mobilized 2 stronger rigs because we were drilling these with kind of our man-portable rigs, and the productivity was pathetic, so we pulled them, and we've ordered 2 bigger, stronger rigs that are going to be starting to turn in the next couple of weeks so we can attack the ramp zone more effectively. Okay, so now let's move over less than 2 kilometers away, which is the Marmato Deeps. So the Marmato deposit has sheeted veins up at the upper portion, you could see, but they stop at where the Marmato Deeps deposit begins. In ours, our veins are overprinting everything, okay? We've drilled down 1.2 kilometers, and there's still those sheeted veins that are overprinting everything. So they have a reduced intrusion-related system. In all categories, it's roughly 6 million ounces at roughly 2.5 grams, and they're currently in production on that. And when all things are up and going, I think guidance is H2 26, they should produce roughly 200,000 ounces of gold a year. Coincidentally, their Marmato Deeps deposit starts at roughly the same elevation as our ramp zone. So we're wondering and hoping that the ramp zone turns into some sort of spin-off of a Marmato Deeps that we're on the cusp of discovering and drilling out. So one way to ask, why are you so excited about a discovery 1 kilometer down? Well, the answer to that is because the ramp zone is at the same elevation as a valley that would house the proposed infrastructure and tailings. So what you see here is a long section of the mountain. It has our Apollo target in the middle and some of our other targets and discoveries labeled. And on the right-hand side of that slide, you'll see a valley where we think we would put, in any type of future mining scenario, you would put a mill and some tailings down there. If you tunnel in on the same elevation as that tunnel, you come in at the ramp zone, and that's why it's significant, and that's why we're so excited about it, because that ore will be very early on in my life that comes out and gets processed. I should say on the upper Apollo, we do envision a small starter pit, maybe a year, 150 meters, maybe a couple of years of production, and then start mining from the ramp zone and then move it down from the pit. Apollo is a big system, as I mentioned. You see in the middle, this is an image where it kind of looks, the ghost-looking image is kind of the heart and soul of Apollo. It goes right to surface and gets thicker as you go deeper, but the growth is going to come in 3 areas of Apollo. Number 1 is we're going to drill out the northern portion of it, what we call the gold-silver vein zone. Number 2, the lateral extensions. We don't know, when we get down to a certain depth, we don't know where the extents are of the Apollo system. And then 3, ramp zone is wide open. Okay, we need to put a bunch of drilling in that. That's planned for the latter half of 2025. I should say we have PEA level met work done on Apollo, and it's exceptional recoveries with conventional circuits. This is an image that has 2 objectives. Number 1 is to illustrate that we're 1.2 kilometers down and wide open. And the other objective of it is to demonstrate the high grade, the consistently high grades that we're getting right from surface all the way down to 1.2 kilometers. You'll see the ones in yellow are basically the higher grade zones, what we call subzones within the breccia at Apollo. The red ones are the ramp zone results, but you could see, and I can't see it from this far, but you could see multi-100-meter intervals, call it 100 meters at 5 grams per ton gold equivalent within the subzones, and then the ramp zones you'll get 50 meters that call it 8 grams per ton gold equivalent, and so forth. Our next significant discovery is called Trap. This is about 3.5 kilometers away from the Apollo system. Trap is a porphyry unit that's overprinted by high-grade sheeted CBM veins. This is earlier stage, probably only about 20 holes into it, but think of Trap as 2 parallel zones running from northwest to southeast. Call it 30, 40 meters in width at around 3 grams. It's loosely drilled, 700 meters of strike, and as deep as 900 meters. This is an exciting discovery. It's got multi-million ounce potential on its own, and at a minimum, we think that it will contribute to the production profile in a mining scenario when eventually we get there. I'm going to skip the San Antonio project because of time, and I'm going to wrap up with a very simple summary. We've discovered a wonderful deposit. It's got grade, it's got amazing mineral continuity, it's got straightforward metallurgy, it comes right to surface, and it's located next to the highway. It's wide open at depth and laterally. It's big, it's multi-million ounces. How big is it going to get? Only time will tell. And then we're coupling that with our aggressive drilling program and trying to complement that with as many discoveries as we possibly can. Time is of the essence here. We're shareholders first and foremost, and eventually we would expect that we will either make a decision to build or to sell in the next couple of years. Thank you very much.